I'm going to quickly show you how to set up a hue shift slider on your Vrchat avatar in Unity. So go ahead and click on the mesh of whatever you would like to add a hue shift slider to. You have to make sure that even if you're editing the material that is on the mesh, you have to be selecting the mesh while you have the animation running for it to work. So now that we're talking about animations, go ahead and click on the animation tab on the bottom left of your screen. If you don't have this, you can go ahead and push these three little dots here and add tab and add animation. And then go ahead and click on this little section right here. It might not exactly say proxy hand fist, but whatever it does say, go ahead and create new clip after that. Then you go ahead and name it whatever you would like. I'm going to name it top hue shift. And I like to Control A, Control C this just for efficiency's sake, since we're going to be using this later. So go ahead and save that. Now open up your material. I have this locked, so I'm going to make sure it's unlocked. And I'm going to turn on color adjust. I'm currently using Poiyomi 8.1.16. This should work with pretty much any Poiyomi version. It might just be named a little bit differently, but you'll be able to find something similar. So go ahead and turn on color adjust, open this up, turn on hue shift, and now we can go ahead and push the record button right here, this little red circle. And you'll need to scroll down a little bit so you can see your avatar. And then I'm just going to wiggle my mouse a little bit and put it back down to 0. And then go up a few frames. You can click on this little red section up here. It has numbers. It has little ticks. I'm just going to go to 5. It doesn't really matter though. And then I'm going to slide the same slider, the hue shift slider, all the way to the right. Now, Poiyomi did automatically change this for me, but if it's not the case, if this little green A doesn't show up next to the hue shift slider, the thing that you just edited, you need to go ahead and right click it and change it to animated when locked. So I just turned it off, so I'm going to turn it back on. That pretty much just means that when this is locked, which it has to be locked to be in game, it will still animate. If you don't do this, then it won't work. Now that we have our animation at 0 and 1, I can go into my animator at the top, go ahead into the parameters, and then click on my avatar's name in the hierarchy again to make sure that I'm on the correct parameters. I'm going to go ahead and push this little plus button right here and make it a float. I'm going to Control V because I saved my top hue shift name earlier, push enter to make sure that it saves, click on layers, click on the plus and do Control V again. But you have to make sure that it is exactly the same as your parameter or else it will not work. So because I had that little extra thing in there, I had to make sure I deleted it. Now I can go ahead and click on the cogwheel on the same layer that we just made, turn it all the way up to 1. Then you need to go into your project window, which is right next to the animation tab, and go to this little search bar and Control V again if you did the same thing that I did, and find the animation that we just made in the animation tab. So I'm going to go ahead and take this, drag it in, make sure you're on the correct layer right here. It'll tell you what layer you're on at the top of this little window. And then you can click on this little orange guy. Again, it is named what we've been naming everything. Click on the second parameter on the right side, click on the drop down, click on the same name that we've been naming everything, top hue shift, and then go ahead and double click on this little animation in the window and then turn off loop time. Then we're going to go ahead and click on our avatar's name, scroll down, go into parameters, just double click it. I currently don't have any parameters, so we'll just add a brand new one. Make sure it is float because that is what we made the parameter previously. Put in the same name. And then I can go and put it into whatever menu you would like. I don't have any menus right now, so I'll just put it in the main menu and click on add control. I'm just going to name it the same thing that I have been, but you can put whatever you'd like in here. This one is not dependent on the names that we've previously used. And then change the type of button to radial puppet. And then on the second little tab right here, the second none, click on that and click on the same name we've been using. So if we would like to test it, you can go into play mode and use gesture manager. Now that we're in play mode and we have the gesture manager live, I can go ahead and click on this just to test it out. And it does work.